going into trading, my brother, now that you are a trader, someone that is trading, now I'm going deep into some technical stuff. What is the best trading strategy you've ever used, man? Maybe there are people who are hungry for this information, but strategies they vary from one trader to another. So, what is the best strategy for you, man?
All right. So, if we wanna
Yeah,
talk strategies, I mean, correct, correct.
yeah.
So, like you said,
What's the best?
the strategies vary from trader to trader. Each trader has their own
Yeah,
individual tactics and their own strategies. But then, if we're gonna refer to me personally, so I
yeah.
full on trade what we call SMC, also known as smart money concepts or ICT, as some
Mm,
people call it in the game. So I'm a smart money concept trader, fully so. The people that
okay.
see my content, the people that are in my mentorships know exactly what I do when it comes to trading, and it's strictly smart money concepts. And with smart
Mm,
money concepts, it's a following of institutional money flow. It's following of trading of or piggybacking of the institutional banks, your hedge
mm,
funds, all these big other
okay.
firms. So we piggy off
Mm,
them. Obviously, you can't trade exactly like a bank. We'll never know
yes.
where the bank would be pushing them. But then if you can actually mirror and piggyback off them, then you are set to
Mm,
make a certain amount, of profits or certain amount of success because you're following the big crowd. Well, not the big herd per se, but then you're following the big
mm,
money and where the big
yeah,
funds are being poured out to. So I would say personally, the best strategy I work with is SMC.
yeah. So this, when you talk about banks, are you international banks, local banks?
So when you talk about banks, essentially we talk about the big institutions. We talk about your international banks. We're talking about your
Okay.
RMBs when it comes locally. So we're talking about big bankers like big institutions because these are the
Mm,
people at the end of the day that control that trillion that we're speaking about. That's them, the
yeah,
World Bank per se. We have
yeah.
these people that we look into following and picking back off, certain elements because they usually tip their hand off, especially when you trade.
Yeah.
You'd see certain tip offs that one would want to take that, okay, so the
Mm,
amount of liquidity is gonna be rested there. So instead of being part of the herd mentality that's waiting for a certain setup or a certain, diagram or certain tool for them, then we'd be picking off those institutional moments and order flow to grab all those levels of liquidity, to be grabbing all that financing
mm.
laying there for us as SMC traders.
Okay. On your, with your experience, what are some of your biggest losses and some of your biggest gains as a trader? With this experience, that you are,
Wow.
because it's
Hmm.
interesting what you are telling me right now. You follow high level institutional trading system, but following them, what has been your greatest highs and your greatest lows?
Lows. Excellent question. So I'd say still coming back up when I was still, in my early years of trading before I got introduced. I'd say
Yeah,
my biggest loss I had personally made on a trade was
yeah,
roughly say about 70,000 rand, about 70K per se. That was, I think, the biggest loss I once took. And
oh
then in
god,
terms of
jeez.
gains and rewards, yeah, hey, back then, back then, I mean, we are
That's a lot.
trading, we were just doing it for the sake of doing it. And thing is,
Yeah,
like I said, there was a point in time where I got to understand that this market actually can
yes,
do so much for me. And
okay,
back then, obviously, it was more of a lighter thing
okay,
whereby we were just that was the system of thinking back then until you get to a point where it becomes sustainable and now you need to start treating it as a career. And once you get to that point of treating it as a career, that's when you start seeing the difference of, hey man, this is how I'm shifting
you
from
okay?
making so much and losing so much to potentially making a success out of it. So my gains
Mm,
are more on a consistent side. My gains are more on a daily side. So I can't say right now I can cap it up, but then I could look
Yeah.
into my net equity that I
Okay.
currently have, whereby I'm
Yeah.
trading over essentially 400,000 K in US dollars of funds. So if you
Ooh,
convert that into rands, you'd similarly see
rands
I'm
is millions.
similarly looking into a portfolio of about 4 million to about 5
Oh,
million in portfolio of
rands.
funded what you call funded accounts per se, or funded
Count.
equity. So it's
Yeah.
similarly based on that. So obviously the gains of that is far more greater because we look into percentage payouts, percentage splits, and
Mm,
so forth. So I'm handling that type of money right now. So, but then if I
yeah.
were to say a loss I really
Damn.
took that was big back then, well, now still coming up, and that
Yeah.
took me out because I completely had nothing out of that. That was about 70,000 per se.
Wow, you're handling a lot of money, man. You are handling a lot of money. You are a trader. I don't know. Maybe there's higher
That's
amounts. Yeah, man. You're handling a lot of money, and you're not even trading for a bank. You're just trading
yeah.
for this. Imagine if you were trading